Definitely, and if you look a bit outside Europe and the US, Jonathan, now, if you look at Africa, if you look at South America, where you had Venezuela and all the countries with these huge currency crises, right? Nigeria quite recently, where you just have kind of a vacuum that is getting filled by people using Bitcoin, people using crypto. That is not going to go away. I mean, it is not. Europe is just really conservative, and but I definitely agree with you, Jonathan, on that one.
You mentioned something that it's way too attractive. What makes it attractive, and to who does it make it attractive to?
Sure, I mean, from a business standpoint, because I have clients all over the world, I think all of us are, doing that just by the nature of FX. I mean, if I want to get a small bank wire, and I always mention this as the use case, I have to draft an invoice, I have to put in the SWIFT code, I have to check the address, I have to plug it into the banking system. And if they're, let's say, in Asia, for example, that won't be an instant process because you have different banking hours. I'm talking about a smaller sum of money. Or I can just say, here's my wallet, and then like that, I have the money. I mean, it's not perfect. There's downsides. Like I said, you can't get your money back. But for a small sum, I mean, come on. What is the point of going through all that hassle of sending a bank wire and paying a fee that's going to be usually more, like $15 or so, to send 300? So it doesn't make sense. I mean, from a small business standpoint, I'd say that's very attractive. And I mean, this can be a much longer answer, not to mention the appreciation, staking, the fact that you can earn interest when you can't at banks. There's a lot of things.
And I guess
you want to answer some parts, Simon, on that one.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I was actually thinking of an example. I had a few months back. For our company in Cyprus, we terminated a service agreement with some company in the UK, and it turned out we owed them £50 for. £80, sorry, for the termination because of this and that, and we ended up paying €50 for the transfer. For sending them £80, right? And I mean, it's I definitely. And I was also thinking, Jonathan, if you look at all the domestic workers from Southeast Asia, from the Middle East, working in other countries, right? The amounts they're sending home, and imagine how much money they're paying Western Union or some other, let's say, similar services, right? When you could pay nothing for crypto transfer, and it's happening, right? I mean, there are lots of holes here and there where it definitely makes sense for people to be using the services, and where it should be made easier and safer by regulators instead of just cracking down on everything, right?
And plus, I mean, I mentioned briefly, but I just thought it's worth highlighting. So it's something I didn't know, but a lot of exchanges now offer staking, where you buy these coins, and that's the risk, that the coins may depreciate. You lock them in for a certain period of time, and you earn more coins, like you earn interest, because now you can't earn interest anymore from banks. So once again, it's now this technology is replacing the services that banks used to offer. Back in the day, you could earn interest. Now, in some places in Europe, you get money deducted for the luxury. What is the purpose then? You might as well keep it in crypto. At least you get something. I mean, it's risky, of course, but if you hedge and everything else, and you have a good plan, then that's a way to earn interest with relatively lower risk versus having your money bled away. Or in the case you mentioned, Simon, in a lot of these emerging economies, inflation can just eat up any money you have, much more than the kind they talk about in the Western world.
Just to add something, Jonathan, one thing I've been through the different companies I've been working with providing technology and so on. I've really, regarding crypto for the last 5 years, what I've seen, especially again in Asia, all these ICOs and the scams and all that. And 3 years back, you just had everyone like, no, I don't want to do FX. I don't want to do CFDs. We're making an ICO, right? Mm-hmm. And then kind of, as Bitcoin dropped heavily 2 years ago, then you just had all these scams breaking down, and which is obviously bad. I mean, a lot of people lost money, but as I see now, it's actually a lot more serious projects coming up, and investors are a bit more, not just jumping onto everything, and you actually have a lot of good stuff going on now, Jonathan. I think it's things are moving in the right direction. I mean, you kind of filter out all the bad stuff, and people get more educated and so on. So I think we'll see something very interesting like in the next few years on that front.
Agreed. I mean, that's a very good point to mention. I mean, something that people forget with stocks is that during the big crash in 2008, I believe Amazon lost 90% or so of its value. I mean, don't hold me to that, but it lost a significant amount during that bubble. And going back further to the dot-com bubble, you had companies like eBay, Amazon that basically were decimated. But look at the monsters they've become now. I mean, they're massive behemoths. So yes, you are going to have these market cycles, but in my opinion, I think this is the newer kind of .com, and I think it'll be more volatile, and there'll be a lot of these boom and bust cycles. Yeah. But what we're looking at are things that will be in the projects or ventures in the next years. But just like there was pets.com in America, there's going to be a lot of these coins that will end up worthless, and that's the risk that everyone has to take.
And I think something that needs to happen also, Jonathan, is that the whole crypto sphere, all other coins, they've been so dependent on Bitcoin, right? And they still are. Mm-hmm. And it's just going up and down. And I think at some point we'll just have enough, let's say, decent other coin options. So it doesn't matter so much. We'll get rid of some of this volatility and where it doesn't matter what Elon Musk he just tweeted yesterday for the Bitcoin price, right? Where we actually create something stable without this dependency on Bitcoin. It's not good for crypto, to be honest. I believe.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, that's I think for anyone listening, if you're interested in crypto, Bitcoin captures all of the news and everything. But what I didn't even realize is there's a whole world of coins. There's very cool things that are going on. And that's kind of the diva of crypto. Everyone hears that. There's many interesting projects. A lot of them are concepts, they won't work out. But if you just scratch the surface, I mean, Bitcoin is just one of many coins. I mean, I don't think anything will ever experience the growth it had, but there's so many interesting projects and things going on with Ethereum, with Polkadot, Theta, all these. There's too many even to name. It could be a 10-hour podcast. But if you're interested in this, there's a whole world you can explore. A lot of things. We'll see if they work or not. But to me, I find it very, very interesting and fascinating.